Hello everyone, welcome to a very special Dragon Ball Legends video in which I grant you all information on how to deal with the very troubling problem of when you get shafted, when you get absolutely unlucky on summoning in gacha games. So, before I get into all of the absolutely necessary and important information, please consider subscribing if you enjoy the content, and also consider leaving a like on this video if this helped you out. But without further ado, let's get into it. I personally am making this in response to getting shafted on the Legend Rising Future Saga banner for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 collaboration. It was absolutely horrible. I do not even want to upload the video describing how horrible it was. I was just getting LF after LF after Future Trunks after Supreme Kai of Time. It was really bad, let me tell you. And the first reaction you might have, and I definitely had when doing all of this, when getting absolutely unlucky, was, wow, I made a terrible decision. And that leads into thoughts of, wow, I'm such a terrible person for doing this. Wow, I'm so stupid. I'm so worthless. I can't do anything right. It just leads into this negative spiral. So don't. Absolutely do not think that way. Think instead, okay, I got unlucky. So what? Now this leads into the second part of, you have to replace that thought. You have to replace these negative thoughts, especially as someone who is consistently free to play in all of these gacha games, because there's stuff in real life that I want to spend my hard-earned money on. So what do you want to do? Well, when you're saying all about me, oh, I got shafted, oh, I got so unlucky, oh, I'm so this, I'm so stupid, I'm so that, you have to combat those negative thoughts with, first off, gratitude. Do not think strategically here. This is not the time for logic. This is not the time for reflection. This is a time to be merciful on yourself and say, well, I have all of these other great things. First, you want to combat this with thanksgiving. Extreme thanksgiving. Look at all the things you've had. Look at all the times you have gotten lucky, and say, well, there are methods. Believe me, there are methods. People want to lie and deceive you that, oh my gosh, you cannot deal with a meta if you do not have the newest, greatest units. No, that's a lie. That is an absolute lie. I have ran teams for a year and saw extreme success in PvP. It is definitely a lie that people will tell you. It's definitely a lie. It's definitely a lie. Now, you do not want to shout, oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. Boo, you shouldn't have got XYZ unit. You shouldn't have got Goku Black. You shouldn't have got Vegeta. No, absolutely say, wow, that's so awesome, dude. Wow, that's so awesome, my girl. That's so amazing for you that you got lucky. Because eventually you will be in the reverse situation where you get the unit and they do not. So you would like the same out of them when you eventually, because it will eventually happen, just as you are guaranteed, eventually, if you are not spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, you are eventually not going to have enough. Or you are eventually going to have a limited amount of Chrono Crystals. You cannot get what you want. You cannot get everything in this game. You will get them eventually, but just not right now. And that is the message that I want to share with y'all. Eventually, statistically, you will get lucky. Eventually, you will. I have gotten extreme bouts of luck in this game. Absolutely, 7th anniversary was extreme bouts of luck as a recent example, but I have just gotten bountiful harvests of luck in this game. And I do not want you to go ahead and get into that strategic part of it first. Because that leads into, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. Do not bash yourself for this. Give yourself mercy and let yourself wean away from those negative thoughts and those negative feelings. Now, after you successfully defeated, any self-deprecating thoughts about it, it is time to get yourself a plan. Do not just summon off of instinct. Yes, you have a plan. You should have a plan for what you need to do. Moving on to the next important part of this video. You need to make a plan. I know there's people out there, oh my gosh, making a plan is not good for success. You should just follow your heart, summon on whatever you want, blah, 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 blah. And if we treated the world like that, oh, you can do whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want. You could do whatever, right? Laws be hecked. You can do whatever. No, that's not going to lead you to success. That's definitely going to lead you to failure. And I have seen more success when I plan. I have definitely seen a lot more success when I save up a lot of Chrono Crystals for these major celebrations. Now, I definitely made mistakes. I have. Everyone makes mistakes along the way, but we just need to do the best that we can and combine that mercy with, well, how can we do better next time so I can mitigate, not completely avoid, but mitigate the damage that getting shafted does. But that is the method that you need to use in order to combat with that. Number one, you need to be thankful. And I'll talk about coping methods in a second, but you need to be thankful for what you have, number one. And if that does not work, then, well, we need to start coping for lesser teams. Maybe you got the banner unit. Maybe it's the free-to-play unit that you don't really care about, right? Maybe that's it. Oh, maybe we can just cope and enjoy with a lesser character that you pulled, right? Or maybe we can go ahead and use a previous team that you had. Or maybe we can go ahead and build some contraption up. There's always a way to be thankful and have gratitude in your life. And that's just an important lesson to combat this just, oh my gosh, wah, right? It's important to not fall yourself into despair, and you need to use any methods you can, because this really is not worth getting into such despair over. I've definitely despaired over this, and I definitely will say none of those times, none of them, absolutely none of them were justified in getting just to the point of anger and just absolute sadness I was at. But now I can sit here with maturity and say, okay, it's okay to be angry. It's okay. But you need to let that dissipate quickly. You need to move on with your life. And realize that this is not the only thing out there, right? Games are not the only thing out there. They should be fun. But you will eventually get unlucky sometimes. And you're just going to have to roll through the punches. It's just like real life. You're going to have bad days. You're just going to need to learn how to roll with the punches, learn how to roll with your mistakes, but you also need to repent and learn how to move forward. So that is the main sermon or lesson I am preaching today. Hopefully y'all found some actionable steps to take from that. Have mercy on yourself, but you need to also find strategies to effectively cope and defend against those negative thoughts. And then you need to have some sort of plan. Whether it is, okay, I want to summon on my favorite character all out. Okay, I go all out on spreading the love. Okay, but you need to commit to some sort of plan. You need to commit. Even if that plan is, okay, I'm summoning on every banner. Cool. That's actually cool. Okay? If you want to plan like that, that's fine. But you need to have, okay, I want to budget a couple thousand here, a couple thousand here, so on and so forth. You should still plan for these outcomes. And you should inevitably have a plan for what goes wrong. Because even though, don't get me wrong, the Legend banner system is so much better than Legends Limited. It's the best banner system in the game. The pity still sucks. It is still really bad. The pity is still awful. It is still horrible. I have never gotten pity in any single Dragon Ball Legends banner ever. The pity is just so high. It is just out of reach for free-to-play players. I'll just say that. I will just say that. And it's like, oh, but you don't want pity. You do not want pity. If you're getting to pity, something went wrong along the way. Something went wrong. There's a tragedy if you hit pity, okay? Something went horribly wrong if you were able to hit pity. Something went really, 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 really wrong. You do not want to hit pity. You don't. Pray for me. Hopefully I can get either Goku Black or Vegeta, because they dropped Vegeta from a 1% sparking, because he really is a main banner unit, right? He's super awesome, super cool. I just want one of them. All I'm asking for. Not this Vegeta 5 times over again. But, and I didn't even get, oh my gosh, I didn't get even a new thing off this banner. Besides, the Supreme Kai of Time, which, just an anecdotal thing, right? Just an anecdotal little reference. She's not as bad as I thought she was, but she's not fantastic, okay? She has no condition besides allies defeated, and she grants sub-counts on switch and special move damage. In this sub-count meta, for a final stand, that could actually be really helpful. That could actually save you, especially if you're a really good player. You could make use out of this. You could make use out of this. This is not a bad support ability. But it's okay. It's okay. It's not what I wanted. No, I really didn't want just to be left like this. But it's unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate. And now, what was your plan for the anniversary? Well, after I do these 2 summons, after I spend the rest of the 2,000 on here, I'm going to go ahead and hard save for not even anniversary. I just don't know. I just really don't know. I'm just going to have to deal with a broke life for a minute. And that's going to be fine. And I'm going to just have to deal with it. It's life. You have to deal with hard things. And that's the lesson I want to give. It's like, oh my gosh, the game owes me something. No, it does not. No, it does. Unfortunately, it does not. Fortunately, luck giveth and luck taketh. So, just going to have to learn to effectively deal with that by these methods presented. And yeah, this is for, really everyone besides the 0.0000001% that can just spend. But for normal people, not the top whales, you're going to eventually get unlucky. And even if you get the unit, right? It feels really bad to go for pity. It does. Especially in games where I have gone to pity, Dokkan, Phantom Parade, it feels really bad. So and regardless, you're going to have a coping strategy. And hopefully you find these mechanisms useful. And with that being said, hopefully y'all enjoyed this educational video. And until next time, it sucks, but it just is what it is. Alright? It unfortunately is what it is. I'm going to do these 2 summons. Hopefully I get something, but if not, unfortunately, and you do have to have spending limits. That's what I want to talk about, is spending limits for money, for chrono crystals. You just want to have a plan of action on that. It's unfortunate, but it's one of those things where, well, maybe next time, right? I've had a really, really, really bountiful season in these past couple of years. I've just been lucky after lucky, minus a few slips here and there. I've been just really, really bountifully lucky. So maybe it's time I experience the free-to-play struggles with y'all and tell y'all how y'all can deal with that. And maybe I make a future video on, well, here's what you can go ahead and do, effective strategies. But I think this is enough for now. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Hopefully y'all appreciate these tips more so. Hopefully y'all can find actionable steps to implement those in your life. And until next time, remember, First thing you need to do when getting shafted, you need to have mercy on yourself. You need to have mercy on yourself. Secondly, you need to find effective strategies to cope. Maybe take your mind off of legends. Maybe do something else. Maybe that involves using different team combinations. Maybe that means developing a hate arc against said unit. I don't know. I've had pretty fun hate arcs on units I didn't pull, and those are pretty exciting. To be perfectly frank, developing the best strategy to take down said unit, that was pretty fun. To be perfectly honest, and then third, we need to develop a strategy to go ahead and get out of that pit, to go ahead and have that bountiful harvest once again. So. It just comes at you in waves. Luck is a wave. There's uptides and downtides. So you really need to take all that axial advice into your life. I really want to do more of these informational type videos. So please, 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 please share the love on these videos, because I really want to make informational type content. Let me know what I should do next on information. I want to do on these niche type topics. So any and all recommendations are appreciated, but I do not want to make this video too long. Remember those 3 steps. Number one, you want to have mercy on yourself. Number 2, you want to cope. You want to develop a coping strategy, a mechanism. And number 3, learn from a mistake, or if it's just you getting unlucky, well, we're going to have that plan in place as well for next time. So that's the steps you need to take. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and until next video, bye.